Good day, everybody. You may notice my glass is getting gradually darker as we move along. Oh, I'm almost out of gas. I got the transgender lenses, the transition lenses, I should say. So yeah, I want to talk about this. Go ahead, man. He snuck up on me. I want to talk about this Alec Baldwin jagoff. So Alec Baldwin is a murderer, yeah, or at the very least a manslaughterer. He hasn't been charged yet, but if you're been living under a rock, I guess he's on the film shoot. He's on a film shoot for this movie called Rust. It's kind of ironic because apparently he's playing the father of a kid who accidentally shoots somebody, and he's going out to get revenge or some shit. I have no idea. Anyway, so Alec Baldwin was fucking around with a gun on set, shot at the director and cinematographer, and killed the cinematographer or photographer of some sort. I think it was the cinematographer. And his first response was, "Who handed me a hot gun?" You fucking jagoff. You are responsible for pointing that and firing it, even if you did it in jest. And this is the thing that gun owners like myself and other gun owners will attest. You never, ever point a gun, prop or otherwise, toy or otherwise, at somebody else. I mean, you could point an airsoft gun on an airsoft field at other airsoft players because of the context in which the gun is supposed to be used. But you're on a film set and you pull the trigger pointing it at the fucking director? Unbelievable. Now, according to 4chan, and I believe they got this from, I want to say the Santa Fe Observer, which is a local New Mexico news outlet. According to witnesses, the director said, "Okay, let's do another take." Baldwin was like, "Another take? How about I just shoot you instead?" And he points the gun that he had been using in the scene at the director and shot at him. And I guess because these things fire blanks, right? These things fire blanks, and there must have been an obstruction or a piece of shrapnel from the previous blank fired that was in the barrel, and that was what, was launched out of the barrel, hit the cinematographer and the director. They were wounded, or the director was wounded. Cinematographer died, was airlifted to a hospital, but I think was pronounced dead at hospital. You know what? And everybody, not everybody, I'm seeing a lot of people saying, "Oh, poor Alec Baldwin, he must be beside himself with grief and anguish." And you see the pictures of him, because people snap pictures with their phones immediately after the event, and you can see he's very pained by the whole thing. As well he should be. He was fucking around. And he killed somebody because of it. The dude should retire from filmmaking, and I hope he fucking does. I hope he also gets charged with manslaughter, because obviously he didn't intend to kill somebody. It was done in jest. But his actions, his negligent actions, resulted in the death of another person, which is absolutely horrible. Now, there was a Hollywood armorer spoke, as an expert or somebody in the know, regarding the responsibility of Hollywood armorers, a person who's responsible for weapons in a film production. They're like a prop master, but they're specifically with regards to weapons, and most often with firearms, saying it's always the responsibility of the prop master or the armorer to make sure things are safe. Yeah, during the production, but this was after cut was called. The responsibility fell solely on Alec Baldwin's hands. And look, and even outside of that context, the armorer has a very specific role. And the way guns are meant to be handled in a film shoot has very strict protocols. Ever since Brandon Lee got shot on the set of The Crow and died, they've always been, you know, I guess at one time, you know, back in the days of, you know, black and white movies, they were probably very fly by the seat of your pants when it came to things like that. But they've always been relatively strict with regards to how firearms would be handled in film shoots, right? Because like these things are legit firearms. Now they're modified so that they can't fire actual bullets, but they can still fire blanks. They can still fire dummy rounds, so to speak. And those dummy rounds, you know, generally they give off a muzzle flash, there's a lot of smoke, and if it's like an Old West thing. And yeah, they're designed to operate and appear to operate like real guns. A lot of times now they do everything in post. They use airsoft on set, and now they add all the muzzle flashes and everything else in post. Because it's just that much safer, right? But in this case, you know, the prop master, the armorer who spoke out on this, he's trying to deflect from Baldwin's own responsibility, and I'm sorry, but I don't think a court of law will see it that way. Problem is, he's Alec Baldwin. He's a big-time Hollywood guy. He's protected, so you know the only punishment he may suffer is, you know, his own grief and his own, you know, his own misery about, you know, what his stupid flippant actions caused. And you know, there's a lot of memes going out there right now that Alec Baldwin, you know, an anti-gun advocate or anti-gun activist, has killed more people than 99.9999% of gun owners. It's not wrong. Most gun owners don't end up taking the life of somebody else, and when they do, it's normally in self-defense. Now that being said, fatal incidents in farming involving prop firearms on film sets is still exceedingly rare because of all these safety measures they have in place. So when it does happen, and when it does happen to such a high-profile actor who should know better, because he's worked in Hollywood a long fucking time, and he's used guns in Hollywood productions a long fucking time, it's that much more tragic, and it's that much more, you know, sickening. And this is the other thing I want to point out. So, Alec Baldwin, anti-gun, you know, advocate, activist, whatever. He speaks out very vocally about guns and gun culture and gun safety and gun restrictions, that sort of thing. Never mind the fact that he uses guns in film productions all the fucking time. He does what you would call glorifying gun violence. Yet he thinks that people who use guns responsibly shouldn't be able to have certain models, should have restrictions on the kind of magazines that they can have in their guns. Never mind that, you know, when you shoot in Hollywood, bullets are infinite, you know? Anyway, the whole thing is a big fucking clusterfuck. It couldn't happen to a worse person. Yes, I have bias against Alec Baldwin, and no, it's not because of how he portrayed Donald Trump on SNL. Nobody fucking cares. He was preaching to the choir when he was performing on SNL. Nobody but people who like SNL and hated Donald Trump cared about that stuff. I didn't care. No, the reason he's a piece of shit is go and find that audio of him talking to his kid. The way he verbally abused his kid on voicemail. He's a literal scumbag, and I hope he faces a jury of his peers. I hope he's found guilty of manslaughter, or at least criminal negligence resulting in death. That would be a fitting what do you call it? Charge for him. And he's not going to face any jail time because he's Alec fucking Baldwin. But he should, at the very least, you know, have his life completely turned upside down, more so than feeling guilty over his stupid, idiotic actions. He should, at the very least, you know, have his life turned upside down over this. Anyway, I'm at the park now. Kenzie's getting upset. She doesn't like Alec Baldwin either. But she really just wants to go run and play with all her friends. So you all have a great weekend. Be on the lookout. Irving Twin is supposed to come down my way tomorrow. We're going to go to that restaurant, Zucchini's Cucina, and have some dinner. We'll probably record some video while we're there. Maybe we'll live stream for a little bit, either there or before or after or something. Anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. Take care. Bye-bye.